Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, in sports, the Heat beat the Celtics 111-101. The Thunder beat the Pelicans 124-92. And tonight is the NFL Draft, and it's happening in Detroit. I was in Detroit a couple of days ago, and I mean, they changed the whole city, and they're expecting a lot of people out in Detroit today. So we'll see who your Cowboys get, who your Ravens fan, Pittsburgh fan, and who my Giants get tonight.
Are there women that still prey on the young men who they know going to be in the draft?
I'm sure.
You think so?
Absolutely, positively.
I feel like such an old school hustle.
But it works.
Yeah, it's probably older women at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably women in their 40s, close to 50, still look young, out there still trying to get a baller.
That's right.
You don't give up, ma'am. Okay, keep hope alive, ma'am.
Now, we were always talking about, there's not much Joe Biden news, and today there is some news. Now, Joe Biden issues new airline rules, which allows automatic cash refunds, and it stops surprise fees.
The next time you run into travel troubles, you could be eligible for a cash refund. These new Department of Transportation rules that will be going into effect say you can get a refund for a canceled flight. But if you're delayed more than 3 hours for a domestic flight or more than 6 hours internationally, you can also get a refund if you choose not to fly. Also, bag fees must be refunded if a checked bag is significantly delayed, and refunds must be given if any services you paid for aren't provided, like broken Wi-Fi. Airlines are also required now to disclose what fees they charge up front for things like a checked bag, a carry-on bag, a cancel or a change fee. Now, most airlines in the U.S. already do that. These new rules will be phased in over the next 12 months.
Well, that's good.
I think that's great.
To them.
About time.
He's going to need it. Between the border, his handling of Israel and Gaza, and voter suppression.
Yeah.
I don't know how he pulled it off in November, but
Well, he did
every
that.
little thing counts, I guess.
And something else that he did and he was pushing that nobody else talks about. He got rid of a lot of those ATM fees, the little ATM extra fees, and the fact that it's overdrawn fees. He got rid of a lot of those
What you mean
as well.
ATM extra fees? Like when you go to the ATM and they'd be like,
they charge you $10 to pull out $20 or something like that. He got a lot of that.
Hey, I ain't seen none of those disappear. They still be.
Nah, it was something about that, and something about overdrawn fees. He got some of it taken down a little bit.
I don't know.
That was a while back. All right, now also, the Arizona State Grand Jury has indicted several of former President Trump associates, including Rudy Giuliani. Now, it seems like they were being fake electors.
Folks will recall the fact that in Georgia, Michigan, the prosecutors in those states have already indicted individuals who were alternate electors in those states. And now Arizona is the latest, coming from an indictment from the Arizona Attorney General of the 11 individuals who were Trump supporters, who folks will recall Donald Trump lost by just about 11,000 votes to Joe Biden in the state of Arizona. And on December 14th of 2020, several Republicans convened in this room, and they signed a certificate of a slate of electors to go and potentially be counted on January 6th of 2021. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays making the case that these individuals sent this what they're calling an alternate slate of electors to be counted to with the intention of making Donald Trump the president of the United States, despite having lost the state of Arizona.
Yeah, and also it was the late fees. That's what he slashed. He slashed credit card late fees in a move that was estimated to save families $10 billion every year. It wasn't ATM fees. It was actually credit card late fees is what I was talking about.
And it's amazing that Arizona story, how something like that maybe just 10 years ago would have been front page news everywhere. It would be the biggest of deals, but we so used to dysfunction and corruption now that story is barely on the radar.
And also, lastly, something else Biden is doing, because they say that, there's not much Biden news out there, so we try to put Biden news out there. They're saying millions of salaried workers in the U.S. will soon qualify for overtime pay thanks to a new rule from the Biden administration.
Millions of salaried workers will now become eligible for overtime pay thanks to a new rule set by the Biden administration. The threshold required to exempt salaried employees from overtime pay is rising. Starting July 1st, employers will be required to pay overtime to salaried workers who make less than $44,000 per year. On January 1st, that number will increase to include those who make around $58,000 and lower. The Department of Labor estimates that about 4 million more workers will qualify for overtime by the start of next year. This marks the largest expansion of federal overtime eligibility in decades.
That's three things we talked about that I didn't really see it crazy.
The fee, ATM fees, credit card fees,
yeah.
Listen, I don't care about Democrats or Republicans, but I do admire the fact that this morning 3 things that President Biden has done well have been highlighted, because that is what the media doesn't do. The media talks about Donald Trump all day long, and every bad thing, he's got a million bad things going on, but every bad thing he got going on, they talk about. He sucks all the oxygen out of the media, and then you don't even know what the hell President Biden got going on. And then you wonder why people say things like, well, what is he doing? What has he done? What has that administration done?
Right.
Well, we gave you 3 things this morning.
There you go.
What, a check got cut or something? Like, what happened?
No, I be looking. Not because I really look for it.
I saw Hetty running in here, passing you notes.
No,
like, what happened?
Trump news.
Y'all got a memo or something?
Who's on the front page of the paper right there?
This is Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft.
Stand up to Jew hatred.
That's right. And what about the Daily News?
This is Senator Mike Johnson talking about Colombia can't guarantee safety.
But usually it's Donald Trump on the front page of the paper. And the only reason he's not on the front page of the paper today is because they were off in court Wednesday. They don't go to court on Wednesday. So that's the only reason. Usually it's Donald Trump. So I have to search for Biden information.
Right now, the protest growing on campuses across the U.S. is dominating the newspapers this morning.
That's right. And we're going to talk about that next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. All right, let me start off with some quick sports. Last night, the Heat beat the Celtics 111-101. The Thunder beat the Pelicans 124-92. And tonight is the NFL draft out in Detroit. So, Detroit, what up, doe? All right, now we got to talk about these protests still going on in college campuses. Now, they're saying more and more colleges are joining in with the protests, and House Speaker Mike Johnson is asking for Columbia president to have to step down.
I am here today joining my colleagues and calling on President Shafiq to resign if she cannot immediately bring order to this chaos.
I would immediately bring order to the chaos. If necessary, I would call in the NYPD. I would ask the governor to send in the National Guard.
No. You don't need to bring in the NYPD and bring in the National Guard. That's just going to escalate the situation. How about just, respect these kids' right to protest? Do they have a right to protest on campus? I don't know. I don't know how campuses work. Do they have a right to protest on campus?
I don't know.
But I don't know what the answer is, but I know the answer is not bringing in the NYPD or the National Guard. That don't never end well.
Well, Jewish students saying that they fear for their safety, that the protests have led to a bunch of arrests in Columbia University and other schools, and they actually saying that a lot of the Jewish students need security to go to classes or the cafeteria or just to walk around campus. Billionaire donors are thinking about pulling their support to Columbia University. Here's Robert Kraft discussing that.
To see what's going on there now, and I think we let it go way too far for months, that people did things that there was no accountability.
New England Patriots owner and Columbia graduate Robert Kraft blasting his alma mater Monday, saying he no longer was confident that Columbia could protect its students and staff, and suggested he'd pull his support if corrective action wasn't taken.
I just can't believe in New York City at Columbia University, Jewish students are afraid to go to classes. It's just, in the United States of America in 2024, it's amazing to me and horrible.
Yeah, if you're upset about what's going on in Gaza and the way Israel is handling Gaza, you should you don't take your anger out on the Jewish kids in the school.
Right, that doesn't make sense.
That's just ridiculous. Like, you should be taking that anger to Capitol Hill. You should be in front of the White House.
Absolutely.
You should be at Biden's front door.
That's right.
With that. You don't just be harassing random Jewish kids at any university.
Absolutely, positively.
If that's what's happening, you know what I mean?
But that's what they're saying is happening.
Yeah.
Now, also, yesterday we told you about the bill that was on Biden's desk. Well, yesterday President Biden signed a foreign aid bill into law that forces the Chinese parent company to sell ownership of TikTok for national security reasons. And because of that, TikTok says it will take legal action to try to block the new U.S. legislation that could lead to it being banned. So it looks like TikTok is going to be suing the U.S. government.
They fighting back. They fighting back.
They are fighting back.
This is a great opportunity to teach, though, because you see how fast they took away something you love, something you think you need. Now act like that's some of your rights.
Right.
Okay, because that's what's happening. Right, that's what happened to Roe v. Wade. So think about that. So if you're upset about that, your TikTok potentially getting taken away. Imagine if that's one of your actual rights.
That's right.
You know, that's what's happening in our country right now, and it's only gonna get worse.
Nah. Now, also, milk. If you love milk, the USDA orders dairy cows to be tested because they're finding bird flu in some of your milk.
This morning, the FDA insists the nation's milk supply is safe after fragments of the bird flu virus were found in some milk samples. The Washington Post reports the fragments were found in samples taken from grocery stores in the U.S., but officials have not said where.
This may indicate that the outbreak among dairy cows is wider than what we thought. As of right now, this does not pose any threat for the individual, meaning fragments of a virus, if it's found in your milk, can actually cause disease.
The FDA says the commercial milk supply is safe in part because of pasteurization, which heats milk to a specific temperature for a period of time. Officials saying even if virus is detected in raw milk, pasteurization is generally expected to eliminate pathogens to a level that does not pose a risk to consumer health.
How crazy is that? They said, oh, you don't have to worry about it, but we did find bird flu in milk.
That's because cows be having sex with birds. Every time you pass a cow for years, sometimes you see a bird just sitting on the cow. I knew they was having sex with the lights when them lights go off in those fields.
I
knew it.
I don't think that's
Are
what
you
that
serious
means.
The birds just out here passing the STD onto the cows, and now y'all can't even drink y'all milk.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially juror number 5, I don't know if you should be listening to what Charlamagne say. I don't think that's accurate.
That's why I don't drink dairy no way, though. I drink almond milk.
So that's why you over here playing.
Playing what?
That's why you playing right now.
Listen,
so
my
they
news-
be
my
having
news-
sex with birds.
My news can be real, okay?
Allegedly.
And you should believe me when I'm lying.
And that is front page news. All right. Now, when we come back, R&B singer Tank will be joining us. He has a new single out featuring Fab. We're going to talk to him, what's going on with him going on tour, his podcast, and so much more. So don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.